to my channel. I know it's been a minute since we've been on this topic, but I felt like it was time for me to touch on this topic again, just because I'm seeing so many marriages happen, I'm seeing so many divorces happen, and I feel like, you know what, this is advice that I wish I would have taken before I got married, so I just want to pass on the knowledge to you guys. Before we get started, if you are not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and click the notification bell. That way you know every time I'm uploading a video. If you are already subscribed, I want to thank you so much for tuning back in again. Let's get started. So today on Being Married Young, we are going to talk about counseling. I feel like we have all heard about this advice, maybe from our parents or maybe from our elders, and for whatever crazy reason we decide that, oh, we'll be fine. Oh, we've been together long enough to not even need to go to counseling. I know him, I know her. We're good. We don't need counseling. We communicate great. We're great partners. We love each other. And love is all you need in marriage. Wrong. Okay? So I did my research. I wrote some statistics down for you guys. Open my handy dandy notebook. The divorce rate in the United States is 40 to 50%. That's really, really high, guys. That means that half the people who are getting married are ending up in divorce, if we hadn't figured that out already. And couples who underwent counseling had a 30% higher success rate, which obviously, if you can tell, that makes a big difference, because there are things that you learn in counseling that you could eventually learn in your marriage, but it's just kind of harder when you're trying to figure it out on your own. Everybody doesn't know how to communicate. You could think that you are a great communicator, and maybe something about your tone, maybe something about the way you speak, maybe the way you make your partner feel when you talk. Instead of I feel statements, you're like, well, you did this and you did this and you did this, and you have the type of partner who doesn't like confrontation, and so they take it in. And in counseling, you kind of just figure that stuff out, because there's three sides to every story. There's your story, there's your partner's story, and then there's the truth. And having an unbiased opinion, point out the things that you would otherwise ignore or not recognize, actually really, really helps. We didn't go to counseling until after we got married, maybe 2 years after we got married. And by that time, I feel like a lot of damage had been done, simply because both of us were ineffective communicators. And we just didn't really work well together as a unit. In your marriage, you should be, you know, your teammate. It's a cohesive unit, and when you don't take the time to really figure that stuff out, it just makes your marriage harder. And with counseling, it gives you that time to really dig deep down inside yourself and dig deep down inside your partner and face your imperfections. I feel like that's why a lot of people don't like going to counseling, is because they have to face truths. They have to face facts that they don't really want to see, they don't want to recognize. They'd rather live subliminally and act like, you know what, I don't have all my shit together, but you know, I'm not that bad, when in actuality you could be that bad. And counseling, it puts all that in front of your face. It allows you and your partner to talk without feeling like you're speaking over them. It allows you and your partner to speak freely. It allows you and your partner to be honest with each other. And nobody likes it, because nobody wants to get their feelings hurt. Nobody likes being wrong. But newsflash, it's not about whether you're right or wrong. It's about the possibility, the endless possibilities of you guys being able to grow together. When you work on yourself and your partner works on themselves, you guys make for a better unit. Counseling is just so important, because a lot of time in marriages, especially for, you know, my generation, we like to think that we have it all figured out. We like to think that marriage isn't really as hard as our grandparents make it out to be. That marriage, oh, we'll just figure it out as we go by. Because I know for me, that's what I thought. Like, oh, I know it's hard, Mom. Yeah, I'll get it. I'll take care of it. And then I got to certain situations and I was like, I don't know really how to handle this. And I know one of my biggest flaws is I don't like confrontation. I don't like arguing. I don't like for the person that I'm with to be upset with me. And because of that, I was an extremely ineffective communicator because I had a very hard time opening up. I had a very hard time expressing my true and honest feelings, which can also be a sign of toxic behavior, but that's another video. Or maybe I did that video. I'll link it up in the cards. But yeah, and so it just, counseling, my experience, we had an amazing counselor. It was a female. And I will say this. Going into counseling, you have to be receptive to change. It is very easy to want to blame the person that you're with. It's very easy to not want to take responsibility for the things that you do. It's very easy to come in there thinking you know it all and then leaving feeling like you know nothing at all. And I think that's the great thing about counseling is you need to be authentic. You need to be torn down so that you can build a better version of yourself. Marriage is really hard. Really hard. We're not even talking about the outside aspects of family, financial, children, jobs, careers, anything, sicknesses, nothing like that. I'm not even talking about that stuff. Just being with somebody, the same person day in and day out, dealing with their attributes, dealing with things that you don't like, dealing with things that bother you. That stuff is hard, and if you don't know how to work with the person that you're with, it causes turmoil in your marriage. Counseling is just one of those things that I just recommend for anybody in general, but definitely for people who are thinking about getting married, people who are, wanting to tie the knot. Make sure that you go to a counseling class. It's really easy actually to find counselors. You can just Google marriage counselors or whatever the case into your Google, and then you'll find one with whatever your insurance takes, so on and so forth. I know there are also religious counselors for people who are religious and want to go the godly route. But either way, counseling is just such a big thing. It'll really help you know how to handle certain situations in your future. I wish that we would have gone to premarital counseling because I feel like we could have avoided a lot of the stuff that we went through. Just never underestimate the power of a person who has no idea about you as a person or about your spouse as a person, because that can provide some great insight into your relationship. Going to counseling only makes you guys stronger, and you're really going to need that strength if you're trying to knock out 10, 20, 30 forever years. Forever is a long time. 365, 24/7. Multiply that times forever. You're waking up smelling the same stinky breath, crusty eyes, the guys who don't put laundry in the basket even though the basket is right here, and there's just so much that you deal with. And you want your relationship to be as healthy, as fruitful, as prosperous as possible. You want to have a type of joy in your relationship that regardless of what you're going through, you're able to say, I'm still happy, I'm still good. I still love this person. Even though this person is getting on my nerves right now, I still love this person. Even though we're not talking because they're mad at me, I still love this person and want to be with this person. It's shown that people who go to premarital counseling, their marriages last longer. And you want your marriage to last, because I hear so much that marriage, it's just a piece of paper, which, I get, but marriage is also like a career. You wake up, you invest time, you invest love, you invest pressure, you invest blood and sweat and tears into this thing. And if you choose to do this life thing with the person who you deem worthy, then counseling is nothing to go through versus what you will go through in your marriage. And if you're with somebody who isn't actively wanting to go to counseling, then at that point, it's really up to you. I know that there are a lot of people who are against going to counseling. I have no idea why. I think counseling is great. I love rambling about not having answers and then light bulbs go off. That's the best feeling ever. But if you're with somebody who doesn't want to go to counseling, it's just something that you have to really, talk to yourself about. If doing this simple gesture is deterring to them, then what future issues could possibly behold that your partner is not going to want to interact with you on, that your partner is not going to take you serious on? Like, it's just really one of those things that you have to think about. For me, a person not wanting to go to counseling is very much a deal breaker. I'll get into why in a future video. Yeah, but it's a deal breaker for me because been through a lot, I've seen a lot has happened, and I will never underestimate the power and how much it matters to just go see somebody, talk to somebody, better yourself, better your relationship, better your marriage in the future, better your walk. This is essentially, for me, a part of the foundation of a relationship. You have to stack your relationship on solid things. And when you do that, you secure yourself in knowing that my relationship can stand the test of time. We can do this. It's hard right now, but we can do this. We don't have any money and we have more bills, but we can do this. Our child is in the hospital, but we're gonna make it. Whatever situation, counseling teaches you how to deal with it. Counseling suggests ways to get better. Counseling suggests alternatives and things that you can practice at home with your partner to help you guys grow. I wish I could say other words than important or essential or whatever words you can throw out in there, but counseling is just, it's that deal, man. Like, really take marriage serious. It is a lifelong commitment if you choose it to be that way. It's not a joke. And every step of the way, there's going to be some type of hurdle. There's going to be some good seasons and there's going to be some bad seasons. But being in tune with your partner is really, really important. It's really, truly important. So go to counseling. Go to counseling. Find a good counselor. Find one you guys both like. Or if you have to try out multiple people until you settle on one that you both like, that's also an option. Like I said, if you're religious, they have pastors who do counseling. It's not very expensive. And just look at it as an investment into your relationship, because it is an investment. You are spending your life with this person. So if it's that important to you, counseling should definitely be something that you are thinking about. When you do go to counseling, make sure that you're honest in everything that you say. Make sure you're open, because if you're not open, it's going to backfire and you're going to be extremely defensive So make sure you go in there with an open mind, an open heart. Make sure you go in there willing to compromise on certain things. Make sure you know when you go in there where you stand on other things, because there are some non-negotiables for certain people which you and your partner might disagree on, and you sometimes wouldn't even know if it had never been brought up in counseling. I know that happened to us quite a few times. And just make sure everything is pure, make sure everything is honest. Sometimes it'll get tense, but you kind of have to just expect that with this type of thing, because everybody asks for honesty until they actually get it, and then we hate it. So make sure that you're just ready for the emotions also that come with it, and make sure that you promise to love and cherish one another after each session. I think that's probably the most important thing, that regardless of what happens in these therapy sessions, in these counseling sessions, that you don't go to bed angry, and you let the person that you're with know that this is only building you guys for the better, because we all need to know that at the end of the day. So I hope this helped somebody. Go to counseling. It's extremely important. You want your marriage to work out. This isn't going to secure it for sure, but this will definitely help. All right. So I will see you guys in the next video. If you have any questions, if you want to add any comments, if you have anything to say, you can leave it down below in the comments. I reply to everything. And make sure you follow me on all my social media. Love you. Bye.